Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going over everything you need to know about the first Descendant's future roadmap and the truth about how pay to lose the cash shop is. I already put what's worth it and what isn't in the Ultimate Descendant guide, and that's linked down below and always updated in my Discord first. For now, though, we're lighting this off with the cash shop and how expensive the Coomer Queen really is. You'll notice that there's two bundles here for Bunny, one regular and one Ultimate, and realistically, we know the main reason most people want to buy this, but this is Ultimate Bunny's base skin. The just normal Ultimate Bunny, that's what she comes with. You're paying for Apex Predator, which is this outfit, and it comes with a Descendant slot anyways. When you look at the 5,000 bundle, it comes with the backpack, the Thunder and Lightning Spawn and thing, the Energy Activator, and the Crystallization Catalyst. So realistically, I know most people are just paying for fast access to the character. And when you think about, like, okay, this costs 1,200 and then these cost 300 each, so the total bundle would be like 4,800 if you didn't include the extra, like, two cosmetic things that, again, most people don't care about when they buy this. So when they built this package, they knew that it was going to be a steal. And if you just wanted Ultimate Bunny, this 3,000 pack right here is more than enough. That's all you're ever going to need if you just wanted the base skin. Which, again, I know that's what most people want anyways. So farming Ultimate Bunny herself also really isn't that bad. There was a bunch of things popping up everywhere about people talking about daily boss caps for loot, and the amount of times you can get loot from those void intercepts is based on the amount of amorphous material you have. So if you want to target farm something, you just push F on it, and it tells you where to go. You can literally click on it. It'll take you to the dungeon, and every time you finish the dungeon, you have a 100% to get that amorphous material. So you can target farm it and get what you want and spam farm it as much as you want. The energy activators are also the same thing as an Orkin reactor from Warframe, and it gives you more mod slots. And you can farm them for bosses as well at a low chance, but you really don't need them for anything until maybe like hard mode. And even then, as long as you counter the bosses, you can still beat everything for free. The catalysts are also just basically forma from Warframe and let you reroll mod slots, and these are extremely easy to get once you start playing more. So if you want to buy the Ultimate Bunny bundle, that's perfectly fine. Just be aware that the 5,000 bundle is just a $100 trap, when I know most people don't care for pretty much anything in there except the base skin. So I hope this helped you save 2,000 currency, because this goes for all of the Ultimate characters. But if you are grinding it out for free, Nexon is known to scuff drop rates on MapleStory. Now, some people in chat were getting Alt Bunny pieces when I was streaming, so I don't think the drop rates are intentionally lowered, but that's something only time and tons of data is going to tell. But it's probably just the usual pure Korean RNG fiesta that we're used to on other games. Now, a lot of the other Ultimate characters come from hard mode content, which is the game's Steel Path equivalent from Warframe after you finish the map, and farming base characters is extremely easy and only takes a couple hours in a lot of cases. The real problem that you run into is you can only craft 5 things at a time, and you need to be crafting enhancing materials, so buying the main character you want to play is perfectly valid. Just keep in mind it's very easy to get those base characters. If you just W key brute force them, you can get most of them, like, inside of a day of grinding, which also takes us into what's actually worth it in the cash shop and what's a complete waste of money. And I'm pretty used to seeing toxic monetization in Korean games like this, but this one has to be like some sort of B-rated movie making fun of itself with this cash shop. I honestly think it's just so annoying to use that it makes you not want to spend money at all. So let's go ahead and break down what's worth picking up so you can see the direct bundle ratios and kind of see where I'm coming from. First off, the battle pass, you get like 300-ish currency back, and you do get quite a bit of cool stuff like the skins and the emotes and stuff, including a bunch of boosters and whatever else, and it's objectively the only thing that's worth buying in the shop. The new battle passes are also slated for early September and early December. The second thing that's maybe worth picking up is the premium starter pack. The 7-day boosters will curve out any early game currency problems, and it stacks you out with enough stuff to upgrade your mods early on, like you power spike really early on. But honestly, by the time you hit the desert, these currencies stop being a problem for the most part, as long as you're dismantling your extra mods. So that's like 2 or 3 hours. It's just mainly for people that are going to be playing the game a lot long term and a lot the first week. Also, just real quick, the regular starter pack is a complete garbage waste of money, so don't buy that. Both enhancement packages are also complete scams, because crafting all this stuff is extremely easy, and all you need to do is go over to the crafter every time you hit a town after a zone and start pumping everything I have going. It'll curve out your early mid game, and then late game you'll have so many materials you won't have to think about like buying any of this stuff basically ever. The real thing you should be angry about is that total 5 crafting limit. If you start getting too many characters crafting at once, or like multi-day crafts, it just gets really annoying to use. And I don't know how they took good feedback to make this game better in so many ways and left this in the state that it is. So moving on, skins are whatever. All the decent ones are about $15 each, which is pretty normal in my opinion. But it's honestly impressive how Buddy had like the flat out most effort I've ever seen in a game, like in every department. Even when it comes to the maid outfits, she got the most love when none of the male characters even got one. That's the true tragedy of the first Descendant, is the male characters don't have maid outfits. Nexon should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. The dye system is also extremely aggressive when I compare it to Warframe that lets me buy a reusable palette. All the dyes and paints of the first Descendant are consumable and cost 25 caliber each, so it costs you 150 to fully customize one of your character's skins, so be careful when you go to custom everything out. So that's pretty much everything in the cash shop and what I think is objectively worth buying, and hopefully that helps you make a better decision of what caliber pack you need to buy, or at least what not to waste when you do buy it. The funniest part about this entire thing to me was like all this stuff is basically just pay to skip nothing. You really don't get to pay for convenience levels that you do in something like Lost Ark or BDO, and it's like hilariously bad value for your money, which honestly is really good for free to play. And that's why I think the complaints about this game being like pay to win are so off base, because everything in here is just flat out pay to lose if it isn't pay to ass. And honestly, after watching the dev blogs, it's pretty crazy to see like how bad the cash shop is considering what they have in mind for the game. So I'm just going to summarize what I think is important from all the dev blogs and interviews with keynotes, because a lot of this stuff is going to take like individual in-depth guides that I've been building on stream, but all the blogs and interviews are already linked down below for you. So they planned on a live service model with August 1st being the first content update, and this lines up with the roadmap that they dropped. There's going to be 3-month intervals for season, and every 3 months they plan on adding a new character, an ultimate character, and a story with invasions, dungeons, weapon modules, and bosses, basically the whole 9 yards. They also plan on adding clans sometime within the first year, and are leaning into this just being a grinding collection game. They also said they focused on how to increase efficiency for farming what you want while trying not to make it too repetitive, but later on when you start getting into the end game of everything, there's going to be like hard mode infiltrations, and the drops in there scale with your total score, meaning you get better rewards and better drop rates the better you do and the harder content you do. So when you hit that stage of the game director specifically built the systems in mind with you getting what you want when you know what you're doing and grinding for inside of a day. And in round-based missions, they want you to be able to push as high as possible to force you to get better so you can get better loot, which is where you'll have to make a proper build. And all of the raid bosses reward you for properly building as well, and they noted that if you bring the piercing light ultimate weapon to the executioner, you can break weak points and remove his defense buffs. And as a general note, all the boss's weaknesses are noted on the left side, as well as some hidden interactions with certain weapons. For instance, a character with a lightning affinity and a lightning reactor using a lightning weapon is going to get a lot more value out of it by using all of its buffs. And I really like the idea of making your character feel unique and rewarding you for making a cool like thematic build. So between that and exclusive class mods, you can really make your character exactly the way you want it, and making those like super broken meme builds that take everybody by surprise is honestly the best part about these games. There's also a bunch of other random things in the dev blogs, but I think that summarizes the things that I think are the most important that I see a lot of people talking or asking about. But if you do have any questions that you think are important or you think I missed or whatever, just drop it down below and I could probably answer most of them, because I went through and watched all these dev blogs and made sure I read all the subtitles, so I was like forced to pay super attention to it. Moving on to the roadmap of the game, I know people usually get excited when they read Mega Dungeon, but after World of Warcraft's Mega experience, the bar is set so low for me that the Urban Dictionary has a better definition of what Mega is now. Every dungeon that I've done in this game on curve just made every single boss feel like a bullet sponge for the first half until I sorted my build out. Even then, like, some of them are just so annoying. Every boss has those little orbs that just fly above their head. Like, every single one is exactly the same at the end of the dungeons. But the main positive for me, at least out of the entire thing, is that they at least have a future roadmap, and the devs are actively like talking about stuff and taking feedback. And you know, at least until the end of the year, we're going to be getting content. A lot of games are just releasing and getting abandoned right away, or like they promise this big drop and then they just don't do anything. Like, you're just like waiting and waiting. So we'll have to wait and see what happens if they actually do drop the stuff on schedule. But if you like the game, I guess you at least have a general idea of what you'll be getting over the course of the next 6 months, which is a lot more than you can expect out of most games. And it's nice to know they actually at least plan on doing some stuff. And to clarify how I feel about the first Descendant, because I'm going back and forth a lot, I think the game is a really solid, like 5 out of 10. It's straight mid across the board. I am not a Nexon fan, like, at all, but I do really like this game. So the story and world are pretty cool if you don't have English voice acting on. That's a tip. Switch over to Korean VA. And if you read what's going on your screen, it does solve 99% of your problems. They give you full access to all the information you need all of the time in game. This also means that you never have to remove yourself to find anything that you need, and that's something that kills me on other games is just being forced to Google every single small trivial thing. And that's basically the biggest positive for me here, is that I can just press J, click access info, and see literally everything in the game, where to get it. Even hovering over the boss stuff, it just takes me exactly where I need to get it. So it's super accessible, and it feels really good to just be able to navigate things so easily to exactly where I need to go get them. You also can't earn premium currency, but the devs said they were working on a trading system, so I'm assuming in theory we're going to see the same kind of thing that Warframe has in the future. The devs also seem really receptive to just fixing things that the players don't like, so it's important to understand what you're complaining about so the right things get fixed if you do want the game to get better. They overhauled the OG paint system, which was literally a garbage slot machine, and they also massively upped the base inventory among like a bunch of other QOL stuff. So I think at least the game has potential as long as they take good feedback and keep putting it into the game. But let me know what y'all are thinking. I know a lot of people just don't like Nexon, and that's perfectly valid. I'm not a huge fan either, but there's a lot of mixed opinions about everything, and I enjoy the discussion, which is also why I do these massive like balanced feedback docs to help games get better and improve in the direction that at least I think that they should go in, or at least my entire community does. So we'll probably do something like that for this game if it doesn't implode within the next 2 weeks. So that's going to be all for now, and I wish you the best of luck out there.